Hi, beautiful people. It's the Taminator without a gold face, but I still have the zit. Anywho, oh, if you can hear this music in the background, I almost forgot. I don't own the rights to any of it. Anyway, back to bigger and better things. You know, a couple months ago, I asked locally and in Vegas for donations to help people in need. Well, the reason that I'm like so passionate about this is that what a lot of people don't know is that years ago, for about a little bit over 3 years, I was a homeless single mother. Well, I got triggered today. I'm not gonna lie. Sorry about the cigarette. Anyway, dog. Stop it, Coco. Anyway, I got triggered today because I watched a video about Orange County and these guys were on bikes, you know, riding through this endless homeless camp. Like there'd be like a little break and then just, I mean, like unbelievable. Which, I wasn't in Orange County, but when I was up in Stockton, I basically seen the same thing there near the river bed area, which was really heartbreaking to me. Anyway, we can't put our heads in the sand. There's a plague, an epidemic of homelessness in this country. And for those who think we should do away with the electoral vote, let me just point something out to you. You better check out the statistics of homelessness in California and in New York, because them and possibly Texas, if you did away with the electoral vote, would be the ones deciding who was president for the rest of us. And you see how that's working out for them there in their states, right? That's what I'm saying, okay? So this is a subject that's very raw to me. It really makes me angry. And then as the guys are filming this with their GoPros on their whatever, their bike helmets, helmet head, which I don't have a problem with that. You should be safe, yes. But they're like demeaning and saying demeaning things and making assumptions like everybody there was a tweaker. Okay, I'm not saying there's no tweakers there. What I'm saying is, why would you assume that? You know, I was homeless because I left an abusive, really bad relationship. Okay? And I lived in the San Francisco Bay Area. And I just couldn't seem, no matter how hard I tried, to get back on my feet. Not only that, while I was homeless, the schools were overcrowded in our district. And they didn't care that I was homeless and my daughter was homeless. They kept switching her schools to boot. You know, nothing like putting that poor kid through the stuff that she went through. And yes, part of it is my fault because I should have made better choices. But the thing is this, there was no resources, no nothing. There was one shelter that I really wanted to get into, but it like every shelter had a huge waiting list. And back then, which was over 20 years ago, we didn't have cell phones at our disposal, okay? And if you're homeless, it kind of means that you're probably struggling with financially too, right? Right. Okay. So you had to call at a certain time every day. And if you went past that time, you were knocked off the list back to square one. Well, I found ways like to beg, borrow, and steal. And one day in particular, there was just no way I could get in to use anybody's phone. Nobody was home. There was nothing available, even strangers, you know what I'm saying? Even anything. And I was in another city, but in the same county, so it would have been, you know, more than just whatever the money was that time just to call, because I'd already experienced that, just to call there to put, you know, make sure that they kept me on the list. Well, needless to say, I never got on that list. But with determination and by the grace and mercy of God, I'm here today to tell you that, you know, I got off the streets. It wasn't easy. It was through help from friends that helped me and supported me and gave me a place to go and to help me start moving forward and not be so strapped. And you know what I'm saying? I mean, there was a time where like I wanted to work so bad, and I, like inquired about daycare in the Bay Area back then. And literally I would be owing them after I got my paycheck for the jobs that I qualified at that time back then for, because I hadn't been to, any kind of special training yet. I was trying to. I tried very hard, seriously. I tried to stick it out. I tried to make it work. But I didn't have, all of a sudden, this loan that was supposed to be a grant, I got taken, is what I'm saying. But anyway, yeah, because if you're homeless or a single parent and you're living on the bare essentials, you don't have like $150 extra a month to pay. So I would have never signed up to that school if it didn't say, luckily that's the only thing that saved me, amount of loan zero. What they were trying to do was pull a fast one on me. They wanted to get me to sign more papers, and I refused. Thank God. Seriously. And what's really sad is I found out that I was basically an overachiever. I always thought I was stupid. But anyway, back to homelessness. I am so beyond grateful to be where I am today. But I will never forget how far I've come, ever, and where I came from. It's so important to me because like a year later, months prior to coming to Las Vegas, moving to Las Vegas from the Bay Area with my friend that helped me out, Susan, let me think. I got to go back to one of the shelters because usually you can only stay like 30 days. And even though you had a place to sleep, like even with the family shelters, you had to leave like in the morning and then not come back until like 4 in the afternoon. So if you didn't have a car or anybody in the surrounding area, it really was tough. Not only that, that was the time where my dog, they transferred her because I lived in that shelter to a school by there, and it was 2 miles to walk there and 2 miles to walk back. So I had to do that every day. And I did that for like 3-4 weeks. But anyway, there were limited stays at the places. And yes, they had some amazing resources, but the time is just too short with the cost of living and everything, and in the Bay Area especially. But anyway, I got to go back. I went and volunteered at this lady ran a community center. Actually, I think it was her mother or grandmother founded it. And I went to volunteer for the holidays. Well, anyway, there was 2 reasons. I had an ulterior motive also, because I had pride, number 1, but number 2, I was still, just getting on my feet. So I wanted to be able to try to work towards getting some extra things for my kid. So that, that did happen. The lady, I worked my butt off. But I had to make a delivery as far as the meal and presents and everything. And that just so happened to be the one family shelter that I was in. There's nothing like the feeling of giving back. Nothing. I can't even describe it to you. Seriously. And to give people hope. And to say, hey, look, I was right where you are. There is hope, I promise you. Nothing like that feeling. So like I said, I will never forget how far I've come and where I came from. And some people are just fortunate and never, ever, thank God, had to experience these types of things. And I'm not mad at you, believe me. I don't wish it on anybody. But the guy assuming that everybody was a tweaker really, really rubbed me wrong. So anyway, we have a mental health problem in this country and a homeless problem in this country. That's just a fact, okay? So my idea was before Christmas, I started to get donations, and my husband's co-workers, a lot of them, they generously donated. But also, anytime that I win some money, like my husband eventually, when I'm not taking care of grandkids, will take me to go gamble. And if I win, I like to quietly, as I can, make a donation to somebody that I feel is deserving, okay? There's a couple people that might watch this that I've donated to them or to their cause that they were working on. But I just don't feel the need to, like blast them all over, because it's not important, because it's what I wanted to do. And whatever they did with that money is none of my business, because I don't care. That felt good to me to be able to give back, because they do so much boots on the ground for us. They do. 1,000,000%. And they are awesome. And to you, my hat's off. I have nothing but love and respect for you. You have no idea. So we were going to take some of the donations prior to Christmas and after Christmas. I wasn't going to take my granddaughter or even myself alone, to any of the concentrated areas where all the homeless, camps and all that stuff, because let's be real, that's very, very dangerous, okay? So I tried to find people, just randomly in Las Vegas and in Pahrump also. And I would keep stuff in my car. So I made these toiletry bags with goodies and stuff in them, hand warmers and so on. And I also got, the coats and the warm clothing, like the sweatshirts and stuff like that I got donated. I would give those away. I got blankets. I found a gas station down the road that had those big, thick, woven Mexican blankets. They were $10 a piece. So I won again and again. I bought a bunch of blankets and stuff. So anyway, we gave a bunch, probably about half of them away. But I'm still stuck with half of them, because I realized that could be potentially dangerous to anybody, even to my husband, doing that, just going in, face to face, because, it's just a rough world out there. So I was thumbing through Facebook one day, and I found this post about, I think it's, hold on 1 second. Let me go get it. Stay there. So anyway, my dogs think somebody's at the door because I was running. Anyway, I got this idea on a post, and it was via Fox 10 News, Arizona, and Bright Hope's Melissa Cohey, I guess her name is. And this was something that they were doing, and little light bulb went off. Well, hey, that's a safe way to do, your small part. Because to me, this is just something small. We need to do so much more, and I plan on it. So anyway, this is the note, and then maybe get the gist of where I got the idea from them anyway. I just want to make sure I pointed that out. I got these little things that I had printed off. You can't read them, but I'll read it to you. It says, attention, hello, I'm not lost. This is here for anyone that might need it. Just please remember, if you are ever in a position to do so, pay it forward. God bless. Thank you to my husband's co-workers at Las Vegas Valley Water District for the donations. Got this wonderful idea from Fox 10 News Arizona and Bright Hope's Melissa Cohey. Spread the kindness. So what I'm doing with the remainder of the stuff, because it's been going on long enough, is I am wrapping one of those bags in a couple shirts, warm shirts, thick shirts, blanket, or coats, okay? And I've got probably about 10 of them left. And then I've attached one of these to each of them. And I'm just going to randomly leave them in areas that, safely, that, people might be in need. Not only that, even if it is just somebody that needs a coat for the moment, maybe this will inspire them to, maybe not, but I'm hoping that it'll inspire them to pay it forward. And you know what? I'm going to challenge you to maybe do something like this, or something similar anyway, in your area. Because together we make a difference. Love ya. Peace.